It's time to bring soccer here. It's time to bring the sport of soccer here.
Game on, SoccerCity, a key vote that could decide the fate of professional soccer in San Diego. And the push to make pedal power safe in San Diego, plus the group who may be at risk on the roads.
It speaks great volumes that we are able to not only bring them back from extinction, but also continue to work to preserve them, and that work continues today.
Memories of the Wild West and the story behind bison found at a Bay Area destination. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. The San Diego City Council put the SoccerCity project on the ballot after more than 4 hours of testimony, but not the election supporters were hoping for. KPBS reporter Eric Anderson is at City Hall with an update. Eric, what's next?
Well, what's next, Ebony, is a vote in November of 2018. That's what the City Council agreed unanimously to do, and they really only had that choice or another choice, which was to approve the project outright. They chose not to approve it outright. They chose to put it on the ballot in November of 2018. Councilmember Scott Sherman, who is has Mission Valley in his district and has supported the SoccerCity project, said it was his job to implement the will of the voters, and he was hoping for more.
Then I heard a lot about public land, public vote, which is kind of silly because they're actively trying to stop the public from voting. And I want to make it clear that I'm a land use guy. I've been beat in the pockets of developers many times.
That is Councilmember Scott Sherman, who was talking in front of the City Council just prior to the City Council vote. Now, during the course of the day, we heard from hundreds of people who support the SoccerCity project, who want to bring Major League Soccer to San Diego. We also heard from other people who don't want this project to come to San Diego. We heard from folks who brought forth their reasoning for not having it, but it will be on the ballot, although the council members were questioning whether it was possible to still have a special election in November of this year. The city officials said that that's something that could be called if they make a decision sometime before mid-July. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. At City Hall, Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
Thanks, Eric. Investigators are looking at what caused the collision that killed 7 sailors on board the USS Fitzgerald, including 2 sailors from San Diego County. KPBS military reporter Steve Walsh has this report.
The collision happened in the early hours of Saturday morning. The Philippine-flagged freighter struck the destroyer USS Fitzgerald below the waterline, tearing a 12-foot gash in the hull. The commander of the 7th Fleet, Vice Admiral Joseph Alcoin, described the damage in a press conference from Japan.
2 compartments that house 116 of the crew are in those compartments, and it was a significant impact to the side of the ship.
The water poured into those compartments. The captain was also trapped in his quarters. Among the 7 declared dead are Yeoman 3rd Class Shinzu Douglas of San Diego and Fire Controlman 2nd Class Carlos Victor Sabayan of Chula Vista. Questions now surround the timing of the collision. The freighter may have taken close to an hour to alert the Japanese Coast Guard. A video made from marine traffic shows the freighter making a series of abrupt turns. The Navy is appointing an admiral to lead the investigation. Separate legal and safety investigations are also underway. Steve Walsh, KPBS News.
The Douglas family has released this statement on the death of Shingo Alexander Douglas. They say they would like to commend the crew of the Fitzgerald for the heroic efforts to save the ship and many lives. And they say they know why Shingo was proud to serve with them. The Navy is looking into problems with its F-18 jet fighters, but a new report doesn't say what is causing episodes affecting pilots. They're experiencing symptoms ranging from dizziness to blackouts.
This issue has my full attention. It is the #1 concern in naval aviation. The Air Boss is listening. NavAir is listening. The entire naval aviation enterprise is ready to hear what you have to say. I am listening.
The incident with pilots have risen steadily in recent years, from 28 in 2010 to 125 last year. The Navy is recommending a joint commission to study the problem. San Diego County Board of Supervisors is taking on the region's affordable housing shortage. Supervisor Diane Jacob is partnering with Supervisor Ron Roberts on a plan to use $25 million from the county's reserve to start a trust fund. She says the idea is for the money to be used as an incentive to encourage private businesses to develop and manage affordable senior communities.
And it doesn't look like anyone else has come up with a creative answer to the affordable housing crisis that we have in this region. So we have the ability, because we are fiscally sound, to be able to do this and to be able to put up a $25 million trust fund and to establish a new model for affordable housing.
The board is set to take up this issue at its meeting tomorrow. Tijuana's police chief is blaming the region's surge in violence on lax gun laws in the U.S. He wants the U.S. to take responsibility. U.S. government stats show 70% of weapons used to commit crimes in Mexico come from the United States. KPBS Frontiers reporter Jean Guerrero has more.
So far this year, Tijuana police have seized more than 350 firearms in connection with homicides and other crimes. I sat down with Tijuana's police chief, Marco Antonio Sotomayor, to talk about the issue. Sotomayor says most of the weapons seized by his department were purchased in the U.S. And because of that, he says the problem isn't solely Mexico's responsibility to solve.
Just as the economy of both countries is binational, the topic of crime is also binational, and we have to confront it that way.
More than 900 people were killed in Tijuana last year, a record high, and the homicide rate is still rising. Gun sales are heavily restricted in Mexico. According to the U.S. Bureau of Tobacco, Alcohol, and Firearms, 70% of the guns used to kill, rob, and kidnap people there were purchased in the U.S., primarily in border states like California. Tijuana's police chief Sotomayor says the U.S. needs to toughen its gun laws.
I urge the U.S. to help us by better controlling gun sales and stopping these guns from illegally crossing the border, because at the end of the day, that's what's provoking the violence we have in this city.
Earlier this month, 18 members of Congress signed a letter urging border state governors to institute greater controls to decrease weapons smuggling into Mexico. Congressman Juan Vargas was among them. The lawmakers criticized President Trump's decision to sign a bill to weaken background checks. Between 2009 and 2011, the U.S. allowed thousands of guns to be smuggled into Mexico in hopes of tracking them to cartel leaders. About 1,400 guns were lost in the effort, known as Operation Fast and Furious. Jean Guerrero, KPBS News.
Today in La Jolla, dozens of people shared their stories of survival. KPBS health reporter Kenny Goldberg reports from Scripps Memorial Hospital, where the event marked its 26th annual observance of National Cancer Survivors Day.
The National Cancer Institute says between 2004 and 2013, the overall cancer death rate in the U.S. fell by 13%. As that cancer death rate has fallen, the number of cancer survivors has increased. Psychologist Tarani Sanduzi is a breast cancer survivor. She gave the keynote speech at today's event. Sanduzi has to take hormonal medication for the next 5 to 10 years. She says the side effects are tough.
There are days where I don't want to take it. There are days where I'm angry that I have to take it. There are days that I feel pressure to take it.
South Bay resident Cindy Silver was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer in 2008. Silver was so sick that doctors thought she was a goner.
For some crazy reason, my husband and I decided we were going to beat the cancer. We've always had a sense of humor, so I named my tumors after people I didn't like.
Silver eventually had surgery and suffered through 2 years of non-stop chemotherapy. She attributes her survival to her positive attitude.
When my hair started falling out, oh well, it means it's killing something. And so all through it, it was kind of like, we're going to beat this. And it's so hard to look back now and to know what I know now. I'm grateful.
The National Cancer Institute says nearly 40% of adults will get a diagnosis of cancer at some point during their lifetime. Reporting from Scripps Hospital in La Jolla, Kenny Goldberg, KPBS News.
Bicycling is often considered a good thing. It helps the environment and burns calories. City planners are making it safer with bike lanes and paths. But reporter Cheryl Clark with our media partner iNewsSource finds a downside to this trend.
Every California hospital reports to the state all patients treated there each year because of a bicycle injury. And those reports show that over the last decade, injuries to children and teens have dropped relative to population. Officials at Rady Children's Hospital say that, at least in part, and it's probably because of safe cycling programs targeting parents and school-age kids. But injuries involving seniors have climbed. And those injuries tend to be more serious, often requiring a hospital admission. Dr. Michael Seiss is a trauma surgeon and Scripps Mercy's chief of staff. He sees how seriously these cyclists get hurt.
As we age, we lose bone mass. We're not as resilient. And so particularly older women, older men too, are more likely to get fractures from the same trauma that a younger person wouldn't necessarily get a fracture.
Seiss thinks part of the increase is due to more older cyclists who've lost their driver's licenses.
Some of them because they can't afford cars, others because they've lost their licenses. And up to 25% or more of our bike crash victims were on drugs or alcohol when they crashed.
I'm Cheryl Clark with iNewsSource.
To see the trends in bicycle accidents since 2007, visit iNewsSource.org. iNewsSource is an independent, nonprofit partner of KPBS. Heat waves will last longer, be hotter, and cover larger areas in the future, according to a new global study. It also finds 75% of the world's population will be affected if greenhouse gas emissions are not reduced. Researchers say at current pollution projections, the entire eastern U.S. will have a significant number of killer heat days.
So heat waves can be extraordinarily deadly. There's such low awareness in many places that actions are not taken. People just say it's warm outside, but that's not enough to get people to make sure that they keep their body temperature down, that they drink enough fluids, that they try to protect themselves and the people around them from heat stress.
Researchers documented more than 100,000 deaths since 1980 due to heat waves. One heat wave in Europe in 2003 reportedly killed more than 70,000 people. San Diego is getting its own heat wave this week, with temperatures reaching more than 100 degrees. Jeff Cornish tells us when we can expect a cool down.
Still pretty scorching out there for the next few days. We have some serious heat across the southwestern U.S. One of the biggest heat waves we've seen in a few years, although we've had a couple of hot stretches of late. Heat advisories are in effect away from the beaches and away from the coast. Excessive heat warnings continue into the deserts for the next couple of days. And also for the surfers, there is a rip current risk, so be aware of that. Not much relief out there. Hard to find some shade on a day like today with that very quiet-looking satellite radar combo. We did get hot enough to trigger a few isolated storms that fired over the Sierra, but they're moving in the wrong direction with this flow from the south. No real relief for us. We'll get down to 67 in San Diego tonight with a little bit of low cloud action. Some fog and marine layer will march back in for a time, but it won't be here for long. Overnight lows get down to around 63 in Poway, 60 in Ramona. Borrego Springs about 79 degrees and 67 into San Diego. And the scorching heat continues through the day on Tuesday and Wednesday. Phoenix, by the way, may get close to an all-time record high. The record high all-time is 122, and they may get close to that tomorrow. You can see future temps here as we move deeper into time. we stay really warm. Not much relief at night in the inland areas, obviously, and we're going to hit triple digits with no trouble in inland areas once again. So let's get into the specifics. Your official AccuWeather forecast takes us back up to 118 in Borrego Springs, 98 in Ramona, and 93 degrees into Poway, and 96 degrees into some other areas not that far to the south and east. Looking at the big picture late this week, the heat wave continues with very little relief, although it'll get a little bit less bad if you don't like heat. We'll see this heat moderate some later on this week. The forecast for the city and the coast, 80 on Wednesday, very warm here, and then we'll see some moderation at the end of the week with that low cloud and marine layer giving way to more sunshine in the afternoon. Inland areas very hot, 95 on Wednesday, back down to about 86 Friday and Saturday, still warm. Mountains also steamy, 91 Wednesday. Into the mountains, believe it or not, and into the deserts. Here we are, 118 Tuesday, 117 Wednesday, a little less scorching on Friday. I'm Jeff Cornish for KPBS News.
NASA scientists have discovered 10 new planets that could support life. These planets were detected by NASA's Kepler Space Telescope. It tracked down more than 200 previously unknown possible planets outside our solar system. NASA calls these planet candidates. Of these, scientists say 10 have enough light, may hold liquid water, and like Earth, have rocky surfaces. These latest discoveries are thousands of light years away. Well, they stand out in San Francisco's urban setting. A herd of American bison roaming Golden Gate Park. From KQED's web series, Bay Curious, reporter Jessica Plachek finds out the story behind the bison.
In the heart of Golden Gate Park, there are 6 American bison. Locals, tourists, and curious minds admire the bison every day. And they tend to have a lot of questions.
Like, how old are they?
Do they want to ram humans?
Like, what kind of food do you guys feed it?
I don't know that question. So I actually work for Rec and Park, so we maintain all the fences and everything wherever the buffalo go.
All great questions. And here's another from one of our listeners, Paul Irving.
I'm really curious to know, what's the story behind the bison in Golden Gate Park?
The answer goes back hundreds of years. In the 1500s, there were an estimated 30 million bison in North America. But as European Americans expanded into the West, the species was decimated. Millions were slaughtered for their hides, bones, and meat. Others were killed recreationally, like the bison shot from trains or during bison killing competitions. The U.S. Army even encouraged the slaughter in order to cut the resources of Native Americans. Estimates claim 5,000 bison were killed each day from 1872 to 1875. This destroyed bison populations, and early conservationists took note.
When Golden Gate Park was created in the 1870s, it was designed by William Hammond Hall. The idea was to recreate a little bit of the Wild West.
The first bison came to the park in 1891. Over the years, more bison moved into the paddock. They mated, and a number of calves were born. By 1918, 30 bison lived in Golden Gate Park. Ever since, they've been a fixture.
Winding drives run from the city center to the sea. A singing waterfall in the heart of the park makes the city seem far away. Buffalo graze peacefully, reminiscent of the great herds that roamed the prairies and plains of the early West.
The bison we see today are not descended from those original bison. In 1984, when the herd was in bad shape, former Mayor Dianne Feinstein and her husband Richard Bloom helped pay to replenish the herd. The old animals were moved to a pasture near San Bruno Jail and replaced with an all-female herd, which was replaced again in 2011. They've been all-female because there's no need to breed them anymore.
They're one of the great conservation stories of the 20th and 21st centuries. Again, you know, when you're down to 1,000 animals, that's not a big number. So it speaks great volumes that we are able to not only bring them back from extinction, but also continue to work to preserve them. And that work continues today.
Now there are hundreds of thousands of bison. And while conservation is one factor, bison meat is another. Many bison alive today are raised on farms. And just to be clear, San Francisco isn't selling bison meat, right?
No.
Okay.
We're really interested in conserving them here, not farming them. Yeah, I don't look at our job as to create bison, but I think it is an important element of the park that people share this park with animals. To have them here is a pretty strong symbolic reminder of connecting people to nature, particularly in a big city.
So there you have it. What started as a conservation effort is now a labor of love. This is Jessica Placzek with Bay Curious.
Black Cat Theater uses humor to entertain and enlighten audiences about current and political events. KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando says their new show provides a humorously informative journey through the first 10 amendments to the Bill of Rights.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Black Cat's Guide to the Bill of Rights. We want you to pay close attention because this information could come in handy for some of you.
Black Cat Theater uses sketch comedy to focus on contemporary politics.
I'm Muhammad Ali Jr., and I'm not going to put up with this crap for a third time.
Director Tisha Tamongin cites the Federal Theater Project's living newspapers of the 1930s as inspiration.
Whoa, guys, we have a bomb threat. We have a potential bomb threat.
Living newspaper refers to a type of theater that presents factual information and current events to an audience, and usually with the hope of urging some kind of social action.
We really wanted to have a voice, you know, we really were inspired to have a way to be heard. At the heart of it, there is a message, and in this case, it's each scene again is to inform folks a little bit about each amendment so they can take something away.
10 amendments, 10 the Bill of Rights.
The dialogue for us and all of the lyrics, I mean, of course the shows are here to entertain, but we are really here also, we're trying to get a point across too, so make sure it's really important that you spit all those lines out there too.
Tackling politics through comedy can get performers into trouble these days. But Black Cat Theater takes a kind of Scooby-Doo schoolhouse rock approach that makes their guide to the Bill of Rights breezy fun and readily accessible, without ruffling too many feathers.
Damn the Bill of Rights. You can say just what you please. Your effects they cannot seize. Your freedom they guarantees. The Bill of Rights.
We want people to feel close to the material, so this is really meant for people to feel engaged. So if you want to turn and say something to your neighbor about something you just saw, or make eye contact and look, you can do that. For us, we try to make a point after our shows of sticking around, talking with our audiences, because we do want them to feel like, not only to feel connected to the material, but also that they're being heard as well, as much as we're being able to reach them.
Black Cat Theater's Guide to the Bill of Rights runs June 22nd to the 25th at the Women's Museum of California at Liberty Station. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
The band Switchfoot got their start in Encinitas, and this weekend they're back home. Today they kicked off their homecoming with a performance alongside local students in an unexpected place. KPBS video journalist Katie Shulov has the story.
There you are, there you are.
We basically had a VIP interaction with Switchfoot. Very excited.
Casillas Elementary School 5th grader Erin Sanders isn't just giddy about the selfies and autographs that she and friend Callie Grew got from the band.
We got to perform with them. The band members were amazing. They were cool, nice, pretty chill.
The performance was also a special moment for their choir director, Jonathan Seligman.
These guys actually are possibly the most influential musical group for me growing up.
In March, Seligman sent Switchfoot a video of his class performing their hit song, Float.
Turn it up so I can hear it.
The homegrown musicians were so moved that in May, they surprised the class and played music with them.
Oh
1 month later, they're performing Float together at the airport.
Dude, I'm playing with Switchfoot right now. This is awesome.
Why the airport? Arts and Community Partnerships Senior Manager Chris Chalupsky says it's simple.
You're seeing a lot more of this sort of art and arts in unexpected places, and the public, the general public, I believe is sort of starting to expect that a little bit more.
The performance, which also featured lead singer John Foreman alongside the San Diego Youth Symphony, marked the official opening of a temporary art exhibit with surfboards and guitars donated by the band. It'll be near Gate 36 in Terminal 2 until September.
This airport is beautiful, you know. I mean, it's grown a lot over the past 20 years that we've been flying in and out of it, you know, and so it's really cool to see, you know, stuff up on the wall that's beautiful and hopefully enhancing the experience of people passing through.
The exhibit highlights the band's annual charity surf competition and music festival, Bro-Am, which has raised more than $1 million for 6 local charities that help underprivileged youth. This year, outgoing Casillas 6th graders will perform with Switchfoot in front of
thousands and thousands of people, and they get to surf with them later with private lessons.
You can be one of the 18,000 people expected to come see them perform this Saturday at Moonlight State Beach in Encinitas. Katie Shulev, KPBS News.
You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.